Welcome to Tridenlogy, the channel that's all about fascinating facts and discoveries. In this episode, we're going to dive into the world of neuroscience and explore 15 amazing facts about the brain that you won't want to miss. Because the human mind is so complex, there is always new information to shed light on the mysteries of human nature. Therefore, while some psychological research provide us with relatively trivial information, we may become closer as a result of our common experience of catching a yawn. Why do you yawn anytime someone else does, but you don't look sleepy? One popular hypothesis for why yawning is contagious is that it shows empathy. Youngsters who have not yet developed empathy, as well as autistic teens and adults, are less likely to yawn in reaction to the yawn of another person. Our brain does not place a premium on long-term targets, despite the fact that we all know it's smarter to get a head start on our taxes than to switch on Netflix. Almost everyone has procrastinated at some point. Because we know we can get them done quickly, we favor urgent but otherwise unimportant chores. There's also evidence suggesting we're more likely to meet a deadline when it's expressed in terms of days rather than months or years, because we have a more tangible relationship with the passage of time. To cancel out one minus, we need 5 pluses. Our brain's negativity bias encourages us to focus on negative information rather than positive, which is why you can forget that your coworker liked your presentation, but remember the kid who made fun of your shoes at the bus stop. To preserve balance, we require a ratio of at least 5 lovely things to 1 terrible item. If we're not really in danger, fear can feel good. Not everyone likes scary movies, but those who do have a few ideas about why, with hormones being the main one. When you watch a scary movie or go through a haunted house, your fight or flight response kicks in, giving you adrenaline, endorphins, and dopamine. But your brain knows you're not really in danger, so you get that natural high without the risk. If we have a plan B, our plan A is less likely to work. Every now and then, it pays to have a backup plan. Several people thought about having a backup plan before beginning a project, yet their results still lagged behind those who didn't. Also, once they realized they had alternatives, they lost motivation to succeed the first time around. The study authors stress the importance of forward planning, but also note that leaving some room for uncertainty in your goals may increase the likelihood of achieving them. There's logic to our desire to squeeze adorable creatures. I wanted to squash it till it popped because it was so adorable. This is known as cuteness aggression, and the person experiencing it likely has no intention of hurting the cute puppy. A little bit of anger helps us balance off that high, according to researchers. This is especially true when we're feeling overwhelmed by positive feelings, like when we're looking at an unbelievably gorgeous infant animal. For some, it's a thrill to witness the fury of others. Researchers found that those with high levels of testosterone remembered information better when it was combined with an angry face, as opposed to a neutral face or no face at all. According to the study's authors, this finding may explain why that coworker of yours keeps bringing up that dumb joke he made at your expense. The images in one's mind are more like mosaics than photographs. False memories can affect everyone, even those with perfect recollections. Because of this tendency, you may be certain that your wife was at a party with you 6 years ago, even though she is convinced that she was not. In spite of our knowledge to the contrary, we persist in holding on to false beliefs. One study published in Science involved researchers providing participants with fabricated information and then disclosing the study's findings a week later. Despite the fact that the participants now had access to the facts, fMRI scans revealed that they were still misinformed around half of the time. Knowing this is one of the smarter-making psychological facts. It's human nature to see faces everywhere, even inanimate ones. Even if most of us haven't actually seen Jesus in a piece of toast, we've all probably had the experience of seeing comical faces in seemingly random places. That's called pareidolia, and research suggests that it occurs because our brains would rather see a face where there isn't one than miss a real one. Our minds actively encourage us to take it easy. From an evolutionary perspective, it makes sense to conserve energy, as our ancestors still had to remain on their toes during times of food scarcity. Regrettably, that is still the case, making it difficult for people who are trying to monitor their weight. One tiny study indicated that people will naturally slow their pace on the treadmill in order to reduce their caloric expenditure. Problems will invariably be found by us. Ever ponder why it seems like as soon as you address one issue, another pops up? It's not that everything outside of you is conspiring against you, it's just that your brain may be. Volunteers were asked to identify potentially dangerous faces among those created by a computer. It's easier to bend the truth to fit our preconceived notions about individuals than to reconsider those notions themselves. As a species, we despise cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable feeling we get when we learn something that runs opposed to our preconceived notions. This is why we tend to minimize the gravity of a situation when a loved one is accused of wrongdoing or poor judgment, or to dismiss the importance of a recommendation to increase physical activity on the basis of the belief that scientific studies tend to exaggerate the problem. All of the components of social media contribute to its addictive nature. You promised yourself you'd only glance at your Facebook notifications, yet here you are, 15 minutes later. To put it simply, you have company. Reason for this is in part due to the availability of endless scroll. When a user may remain on a website indefinitely without doing anything more than looking around, their brain does not receive the stop message. When we feel that we have to follow a rule that is overly stringent, we want to break more. Psychologists have investigated a phenomenon known as reactance, in which people who feel their freedom is being infringed upon break the rule in question and then break even more rules than they would have otherwise. If an adolescent can't use his phone in class, one of the best-known psychological realities is that he'll chew gum while secretly sending a text. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content on personal development and self-improvement. See you in next video.